Willy Wonka was a lunatic, and we're back. It's an interesting way to transition in.
So many building code violations.
Yep.
Ocean nightmare.
Exactly.
Well, there was as much as I hate to plug a YouTuber that at this point I don't care for the ethical values of, there was a YouTuber that talked about like part of where that comes out of, and it comes out of like post-England work code stuff, and the ideas that around that time Willy Wonka is dealing with the fact that England is about to make his whole business operation illegal, but if he pawns it off to a child, then he's not responsible for anything, and the child's not responsible for anything. And so it's like the perfect master plan for his business that's about to go bankrupt.
I always thought that Grandpa Joe was the villain there.
He is also the villain there. That man claiming he's bedridden, and then all of a sudden, Christmas
Just gets
miracle.
up and dances, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Ghoulron, you got to sit quietly in the background for a while. But does anybody else during this downtime have anything else they'd want to do?
I have my stuff that I needed to buy.
Mm-hmm. So you can head on off to pick that stuff up. I want to know how you're phrasing this and who you're phrasing this to. Your regular crafter or...
Yeah, I think I'd go to my regular guy.
Okay. You're back. I suppose that means you got more work for me.
Yep. I know last time you worked on weapons, but are you good with other gear, like belt to make me more nimble?
You want to be more nimble? Kind of wuss are you? Nah, I'm just kidding. I think I can do that for you. Let me think here for a moment. I might even have one around. Let me check. It just so happens I do. Actually, I have a couple. I got one like this, and he sets down one belt on the table. The belt has some like little wavy line panels on it. For player perspective, it almost looks like if you've seen like wrestling title belts. It has like one kind of bigger belt in the center that has like the wavy marks on it, and then some smaller ones off to the side that aren't marked. He also sets down a second one above it that has wavy marks, and then off to the side it has like stones in the two little panels to the left and to the right of it. Now here, I got one that'll make you a little more nimble. Here I got one that'll make you a little more tougher and a little bit more tougher like a little bit more nimble and a little bit more tough like the mountain.
Well, I'm looking for something that'll help me wield both of my weapons a little bit better. Which of these do you think is going to be better for that?
Well, I really suppose it comes down to how much money you have. So, what's the rich you got coming in here with?
7,000.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose then we'll probably have to be sticking to the smaller belt then. Still good, still get you what you need, but in the meantime, I'll be taking the other one.
All right. Also, do you have any of those rings that help make me a little tougher?
Rings that make you a little bit tougher? You mean rings that push away the attacks? Yes.
Those.
Certainly I do. I can get you one of those.
Yes, I'll take one of those. Probably the just the lowest entry one you have.
Certainly. Let me see what I got around. Hold on. Ooh. It's got a lot of stuff laying around. Double check pricing. Alright, well I can definitely give you a one. I'll make you a little bit of a deal here. You're buying both of these. You're a little bit over if I give you two, but you've been good to me so far. So I think I'll bundle the two of them together for you. Just make sure when you're ready to change the belt out, you come back here. Don't go looking elsewhere.
I appreciate it. I will definitely come back to you.
Wonderful. Well, there you are. 1 belt and 1 ring. The ring has like a little wavy line around it and a number 2 in the center of it.
All right. I gotta run real quick. I gotta help my brother with something. I should be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I will be back here as soon as I am in need of my next upgrade.
Excellent. I look forward to it. What about the rest of you?
Did Eddie stick around for breakfast?
Let me think. Hold on. Eddie probably would not have stuck around the room for breakfast, but Eddie would have been downstairs when you came downstairs.
Okay. So I would say that Brianna probably would, offer to buy him breakfast then from the tavern.
He's already got breakfast in front of him.
Oh, okay. Well, then she would just be like, "Can I join you?"
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
And yeah, she probably would just be making small talk. She would have a small halfling-sized breakfast, and
So,
maybe...
just out of curiosity, what do you do? I don't suppose you're just getting by on working here.
No, actually, I'm not sure. How familiar are you with the bardic profession?
Not very much so. I hear it's got some magic in it, yeah?
Yeah. Well, as you know, in the city and country, in order to perform any sorts of magic, including bardic magic, you have to have a license.
Yeah, I've heard it's tough to get one of those. You gotta, learn the legal ins and outs as well as just as much as learning how to control it yourself. I'm
Yes.
going to the wrong voice all over the place.
The dwarf. It's hard to come out of the dwarf. Yeah. So in order to get my license, I actually took up a job with the Ministry of Magic. So currently, I work for them, and in my spare time, then I perform. Performing's my passion, and it's what I love to do. And so
you go around solving magic mysteries, basically?
Yes, pretty much.
You're a very interesting person, Brianna.
Well, thank you. What about you? What do you do for a living?
Oh, I wish I did something interesting. That's for sure. I spend a lot of my time working. It's kind of design, it's kind of not. People come to me with plans, and I overlook them and decide are they good, are they not? Do they kind of like an inspector, but sometimes around here it's kind of weird because I often wonder, what do I do? An architect comes to me with their plans. They say, "Here are my plans," and I look them over, and then I tell them whether or not they're good plans. But I don't have the say-so per se to tell them that they're not good plans. I just tell them, I can't tell them they can't go ahead with it, but I kind of make sure the plans are going to be approved by an inspector later on. There's a lot of very weird codes around here, and some people find that making sure they're checking all the right boxes is important. Most of the people are contractors or, some other sort of building aficionados, but I keep things working as best I can, but it's mostly a boring profession. Somebody brings me plans, I give them corrections, they come back later, a lot of back and forth. Pays the bills, though.
Yeah, I know that. That's how I feel sometimes about the ministry. I know I help a lot of people, but it pays the bills. That's the most important part.
Sometimes it's what you gotta do.
So it sounds like that you're experienced with red tape then.
Very much so. A lot of it in the construction business.
I must confess, I don't know very much about construction, but it definitely sounds like it keeps you busy.
It's for the best. I don't think it's a good use of anybody's time. I tend to find that I can put a lot of my time and effort into working on my skills on the floor.
Well, you are very skilled. I was very impressed last night.
I could tell. And with that, Brian or Elizabeth, you've got your things. Gulran, is there anything you wanted to pick up? I think you got all the stuff that you need.
Yeah, I think I covered my stuff last session.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything.
All right. The three of you can get through the rest of the week of your time off. It's probably nice for some of you to relax a bit. It sounds like, Elizabeth, you're probably spending some time visiting with Maha more often, getting a little more of your frustration out, getting some practice in with your new fighting style that you're trying to master. And Gulran, you're spending a lot of time at the church trying to keep people's spirits up in what feels like a very rough time. And Elizabeth, Brianna, you're spending some time enjoying yourself and trying to work on your thoughts and get things in a better place.
Yes.
And Antaeus is off being Antaeus. And wherever Antaeus is when he is being Antaeus.
I do want to say that, when Brianna sees Elizabeth next time, she's probably going to ask about, so what happened with Brock?
Well,
Absolutely nothing. He was a weirdo.
The two of you
is
are
over here trying to get me to dance, but then
the two of you are waiting outside of work having this conversation before shift starts.
But he seemed to really be interested in you, Elizabeth.
I don't know, something didn't feel right. The first time he told me to punch him was oh, okay, yeah, he's trying to get me to work out my frustrations and loosen up a little bit. That was fine. But then all of a sudden he's randomly talking and he's just and punch me again. It was weird. It was I don't know what, if this is how you get your jollies, that's fine, but say so, because this just feels weird to me with you just being punch me again.
Gulran, you probably come walking up at about this point.
Well,
How's everyone doing?
Oh, hello, Gulran.
Are y'all done sinning?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just kidding. It's not a sin to go dancing.
Good. I don't think I could follow that kind of religion.
I think if you're doling out sins, you've got a few there yourself to atone for.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're not extremely prideful? No, of course not, Gulran.
No,
Oh, I
not
thought
at
you were
all.
talking about breaking and entering.
Oh, well, there is that too. I mean,
Breaking and entering is not a sin.
I'm pretty sure it probably falls under some sin categories if we really broke it down.
When's the last time you went to church, Elizabeth? You need to study up on your religions. You're not as in tune with the gods as I am, all right?
Every time I battle, I am at church, okay? It is the true way of honor.
Don't you cast
Maybe.
sanctuary on her? That's church,
No.
isn't it?
I got sanctuary myself.
Oh. Still counts.
That
She's
spell
in
would be
proximity.
useless on her.
I cast Sanctuary on
everyone.
Elizabeth, and it goes away.
Not everyone has to enter a temple to be at church, Gulran. Mr. Knowledge Seeker should be able to realize that. Or maybe no, because you're just looking for knowledge, but you don't always put the wisdom behind it.
I don't think you think about your sentences before you say them, because that made no sense. Anyways, what's the plan for today? What are we up to?
Work,
Yeah.
whatever our boss tells us we're up to.
Has anyone seen Teus? Like, I haven't heard from him since we went to the club.
It's probably hungover. I don't know how much you guys drank.
He left at the same time as me, but I don't know what he did from there.
Goron raises his eyebrows. Oh, you left together?
No.
Interesting.
I just told him I was leaving because Brianna
What
left
you do in your
with a
spare
new
time is
boy
none of my
toy.
business. It's all right. Brianna, you're a bad influence on them.
Oh my god.
I just want everybody to have fun. You could do to loosen up just a little bit. Do you know
Yeah,
how?
Gulron, come dancing, Gulron.
Do you know how like people's spirits would be lifted if you would just dance?
I don't know if you noticed, Brianna, but I'm a dwarf. We don't do dancing.
I'm a halfling. So what?
Halflings dance all the time. When's the last time you seen a nice blacksmith dwarf dancing? Never.
When's the last time I saw you in a blacksmith?
I venture there time to time.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
When? You get your gear from your church. I don't think I've ever heard of you going to a blacksmith.
Yeah, look at his hands. They're much too clean for him to be a blacksmith. Those are. Did you get a manicure?
No, I didn't. What is this, a pick on Goron day? Where'd you lose your boyfriend, Elizabeth? Where is he? You didn't kill him, did you? You're not like one of those black widows that killed their mate after.
What are you talking about? Elizabeth's not with Antaeus. She's with Brock.
Oh,
Who's Brock?
No.
Elizabeth,
Listen.
just think at how much it would irritate your parents if you were to date someone named Brock.
I mean, I
Yes,
think it would
true.
irritate me more.
Elizabeth is one of those simplistic teenager mindsets, right? Just disobey your parents, rebellious phase, and all that. Makes a lot of sense.
Look here, Mr. Orphan.
Whoa! Whoa! What the fuck?
Damn, playing the O card.
Just went nuclear. Holy shit. I'm checking my spell list after that one. What the fuck? Goron grips his warhammer. Choose your next words carefully, young lass. I don't know, there's some lines that are not meant to be crossed.
I've seen you in combat, Goron. You can't best me.
All seriousness, though, that's not a joking matter. I was just
Okay,
jesting.
well, talking about my parents' relationship is not a joking matter either. So why don't you leave mine out of it, and I'll leave your lack thereof out of it.
Anybody want some Irish coffee? I don't know.
Dwarvish coffee.
Dwarfish coffee. Anybody want some dwarvish coffee?
Coffee sounds a lot better than that fruity, disgusting thing I drank 3 of the other night.
Man, those were so good. Did you know, if you pay just a little bit more, they can enchant the cup and it lights up. It's really awesome.
Why do you need a light up cup? Why would you spend money on that?
It's fun.
How is that fun?
The colors.
It's like there's not enough colors and lights going on with the dance floor and all the people. Why do you need a light up cup too?
It definitely lets people notice you.
I don't want to be noticed, so I'll stick with my non-light up cup.
As the three of you are chatting, someone makes their way up to the three of you. They are what looks like a younger, probably half goblin, maybe half halfling. They're very short, but their skin tone is more like more of a softish color with like a tint of green to it, with kind of longish ears, a very unique face. I couldn't help but overhear that you were having a little spat about something about a. All right, I wasn't hearing very well, but you all seem Quite interesting. Your friends and work and coworkers, yes?
Yeah.
Brianna, hold on. Who exactly are you?
My name is Flicker.
Flicker who? Do I recognize this guy at all?
Last name Strike?
Give me a knowledge, either nobility or local.
I have neither.
Okay.
So I don't recognize him?
Nope.
Brianna, I don't know what your parents told you, but you don't talk to strangers. Before we divulge anything, who are you?
I talk to strangers all the time.
So
That's how you make a stranger a friend.
Brianna, you've seen Flicker before. Flicker occasionally comes into the inn. He's not like he used to be a very high social standing, but a lot of what he did was in an industry that kind of like faded away as new spells replaced old spells, new more efficient spells replaced the spells that he worked in, and a lot of these spells were spells that he didn't have access to. You know that he is a bit of a sorcerer. And you know that, like, as new spells are learned, it can take a lot for a sorcerer to learn how these new spells can be used and applied. And he just never quite caught up, and the rest of his business didn't quite catch up with it. He specifically works in an industry that has to do with how magic is moved from building to building. There are these large arcane pools that are filled with ether. And you can, like, the system kind of uses these as taps to move energy back and forth from place to place. He used to produce some of the lines that would interconnect them.
You look really, really familiar. Flicker, right?
Yes, that is what I said. Yes.
I've seen you at my inn.
Yes, it's a nice little place to spend some time. I was curious though. I asked around a bit, and right before all of the stuff started invading my new neighborhood, you were the last people seen leaving and going out to the woods. And then a few days later, there was a lot of weird stuff growing in my backyard.
What are you trying to say? You're blaming us?
I'm just curious if you saw anything while you were out in the woods.
That's ministry business. I'm sorry, we can't divulge information of what we were doing out there or what we saw.
I suppose that's very fair. I guess that would be kept private business for right now, wouldn't it? I was just curious, that's all. I heard there were 4 of you, though. Where is your 4th?
He's just running late today.
Is he normally the late kind of person?
I mean, are you normally the kind of person to ask this many questions?
Oh, yes, very, very much so. I take great interest in things that are linked to terrible doings around where I live or do business.
You want to issue a complaint? The ministry's over there.
I
What do you
prefer
do?
to take my complaints directly to people.
Well, spit it out then. What's your complaint?
I think you're responsible in some ways for what's happening.
Well, if we are or are not responsible, that is the ministry's business and not yours.
I'd say it's mine if it's interfering with my business.
Then why don't you go speak with people at the ministry who can probably give you more information than we can?
Because I think you're people that will listen. And I think you're people that care.
True on all accounts.
I'm not here to tell you that I think that you're bad people. I'm not here to tell you that you need to solve this right now. But I will tell you that before the next time you go out to the woods, perhaps you could stop by my little home that's now a rather vile color of green, and maybe we could chat about some of the weird things that are starting to grow out back.
Well, I can assure
enough.
you. I can assure you that, first of all, as my coworker said, yes, absolutely, we'd love to have a chat. But secondly, we definitely will do everything we can do within the confines of the ministry. Unfortunately, we have to be limited by what they say we can and can't do.
Well, can we at least maybe keep this on the hush for a little while from the ministry that I brought this up?
Why?
The city really wants to take over my home. You'll notice when you come into the area that most of the rest of the properties around mine don't have the same vegetative growth. They have determined that my home is too far from the city and does not get the same benefits as the rest of the homes in the area. And I think that's quite unfair.
So coincidentally, then they're saying that it's too far, but then once your home is overrun, they'll say it's condemned and seize it?
Yes, that is my theory. I believe that they are trying to put together some kind of device that will allow them to add yet another layer of protection from the city against invaders, but they don't want to include my domicile in it because it would take too much magical energy to do that. And I'm sure there's others that are in the same state. And I would rather other people not also lose their homes. This has happened numerous times before. The circle goes in, and they force some of us to have to live on the outside of these protections. And that's not fair to some of us. I didn't realize how bad it was when I was one of them. I acknowledge that. But it's interesting what perspective can do to a man.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear about your home. We'll certainly... I can be discreet. My dwarven friend here, he is...
Excuse me?
He likes to disclose everything, so he might... I don't know. He's not very good with discretion, so...
Now listen here, Brian. I can speak for myself. This man at first seemed to rub me the wrong way, but now I understand his plight. This is not fair. And if our fearless leader, and I'll nod my head towards Elizabeth, if she sees it fit to keep this under wraps, then I'll follow her lead. And if she wants to bring it up, we'll try and help you as much as we can.
Very good. Thank you so much for your understanding. And you, Elizabeth, was it? Will you at least come take a look?
We'll come take a look when we can. If you can give me your approximate address. We obviously have to see what our current workload involves. But
if you're heading out to the woods, you can't miss my home. It's the big green one. Wasn't green before,
okay.
But now is the big green one.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
And he will wander away.
Interesting.
Antaeus at this point.
Bizarre.
Antaeus at this point, by the way, is quite late, and you know that if you wait for too much longer, you'll be late as well.
Well, I don't know what's up with Antaeus, but we better head in. He can get here when he gets here, and let us know why he's so late.
Sounds good.
All right. The three of you head inside. And Ninoslav wastes no time in gathering you up. The three of you come in, and somebody kind of like instruct you to follow and lead you to the private room that you normally speak with Ninoslav in. Where's Antaeus? This is becoming a problem.
Yes, I'm not sure where he is. He knew the meeting time. He hasn't shown, so...
Well, I had somebody peg him as coming in much earlier today. He's in the building somewhere. I've sent people to find him, but...
He's looking at that book he was so obsessed with, maybe?
he shouldn't have the book. It should be in our care.
That's what I mean. Maybe he's gone to go see them about the book.
That'd be strange.
He did say he wanted to check in on it every few days.
Let's hope that's the case.
Is his lab here? Does he do research here? Maybe he was researching something and lost track of time.
His lab is not here. We wouldn't allow him to have a lab here.
Good choice.
He's a bit reckless at times. I do recognize that. Well, I think his work is... He means well, and he does want...
Debatable.
He wants better things for the city, just as you do.
I hope so.
We wouldn't keep him on the payroll if he didn't.
Wait, we're all getting paid?
What do you think these writs are they've been giving us?
You've also not had to pay for your home or anything else. This is part of why you don't pay your... I don't ask you to pay for drinks or to pay for meals or that kind of stuff. This is all like you using the money that you gain from the ministry to keep that stuff going. Listen, I know we don't pay you as well as maybe you'd like, but you gotta work your way up the ladder if you want to get to different places. And in all honesty, I think you've been doing a good job working your way up the ladder, as much as I think that you are. You're sloppy at times. Very sloppy. But you're focused on the task at hand even when you slip off of it. Speaking of the task at hand... Hold on. My brain was on track with the notes, and then I lost it. We are going to give you a second chance at what you failed at. And this time, we don't care how you bring him back. We just care that he comes back. There are a lot of people...
Baru again?
Yeah. There are a lot of people right now up top that are blaming him for why this is happening, and I don't necessarily think they're wrong. They need something to make a scapegoat, and they feel like this will be the right scapegoat. One sec.
We're not going to bring him back just to be executed without finding anything out. Is this what you're
You're
intending?
assuming that we're going to bring him back alive.
We are going to bring him back alive, Brianna.
We can do our best, but it was pretty difficult last time. We might be forced to,
I've reached new closeness with Shashat. I've gained new powers. It should be easier this time.
Let's be clear, Ninoslav. Bring him back dead or alive? Or for sure alive?
As you ask that question, Antaeus finally makes his way into the room.
No, it's cool. I'll be gone for 3 minutes. That's what I was told.
What are you talking about, Antaeus?
You finally joined us. Get in the seat, and let's get over some things. Whatever you're doing with whomever in wherever I can't find you, I hope it was of good progress. More of this, though, and, well, we're gonna have some problems.
What are you talking about?
You're late again. I know you were in the building earlier. You need to be into these briefings on time.
Understood.
Now, as far as the question about dead or alive, we would prefer to have him back dead more than we would prefer. Or, I'm sorry, we would prefer to have him back alive more than we would prefer to have him back dead. However, we have sent some scouts in and gotten some information that is troubling. The growth is increasing at a rapid rate. Him going back in, he probably has some link to these things. We've seen it before. They probably saw what he saw and knew we were on to what was going on. What we're hoping, regardless of how you bring him back, is that we can figure out how his link works. And if we can figure out how this link works, perhaps we can figure out where the source of this all is and get this taken care of. we're noticing that every time we send people out to do a bit of scouting, things get more and more confusing. It's like the forest is evolving, changing. When you go in, you'll probably find the routes that you went before are not the same. But you'll have the same gear with the same piece of equipment with you. We've amplified it a bit, we believe, playing around with some things, so it should be better at guiding you there once you reach the edge of the forest. But outside of the forest, it will do you no good to find him. And we do urge you a point of caution. If he's blended enough with the environment, it might occasionally misdetect something like him as him. We are also going to be sending you in, and we know that you're going to be in there for a while, so we're going to be sending you with one additional thing. You're going to be taking with you a very large on the inside, very small on the outside tent. This tent will give you overnight protections from the blight that is spreading on the outside. However, it is not protected from anything breaking into it, so it will be important that somebody keeps an eye out from the outside over the evenings. You shouldn't need to do much to wake up the rest of your team. A simple shake of the door of the flap of the tent should alarm everyone and let them know that something is going on. But you should be fully blocked from the influences while you're inside. You may need to use that to your advantage if you're maybe awake for too long, or maybe something has caused you to become subject. Try to get your allies in there for a few hours, and that should help set their head straight. Keep in mind, real quick, there's only enough air if the flaps are closed for 4 people for 8 hours. I'm sorry, 4 people for 9 hours.
Oh, that's better. Can we get one of those flamethrowers?
These
Didn't
are...
they have, like, the flamethrowers in town? When
we are presently at maximum capacity using them right now. The growth is getting much, much more rapid, and we need to maintain fighting it.
Are you guys having to, like, pick and choose, like, which areas of town get the, like, blight reduction?
What are you, sympathizing with these people now? We're doing what we can. We only have so many men.
No, I understand. I just was curious.
These rumor mills have got to stop. You have to stop believing every rumor you hear on the streets. Next thing you know, we'll have Ghoulrun out there trying to command where the burner should go.
It's not a bad idea.
I don't believe anything unless you tell it to me, sir.
Sorry, Belchers, not burners.
And even then...
No, groundskeepers, I'm sorry. The groundskeepers use Belchers to control the spread.
Well, I assume you're going to give us a day to prepare, or I wasn't expecting to leave town today.
You have as much time as you want to put into this. We're not going to put a timer on you, but at a certain point, if you haven't come back here with Baru, then you should consider yourselves out of a job.
Jesus.
So, I would suggest you not dilly-dally on this, but it won't be at my hand. Someone else will come to speak to you, and that will be the end of things.
Well, why don't we take a day to everyone do any last-minute preparations we need to do, and we'll head out first thing tomorrow.
That sounds like a good plan.
What time should we tell Antaeus to meet us so that he'll...
4 hours earlier than intended. I love you too, Antaeus.
Olive juice.
Missing one of my notes here.
I need to go figure out where the baby is real fast.
That's
So Elizabeth has a baby?
There.
Man, that must have been a productive night in the club.
Brock!
Whoa! This happens much faster than I thought.
There are some extra details here, sorry. I was trying to find the notes, and I was having trouble because I made 2 notes named too similar to each other.
Nice.
It's important that you know, though, as I said, that you are on a timer not only for your jobs, but also for Baru. The Duke of Defense wants this cleaned up quickly. He has employed a number of rangers to be at the ready. As soon as he gets word given to him that he has a right to take action, he will. And by that point, it will be too late to save Baru.
What do you mean he's waiting to send these rangers in to murder him in the forest?
To get him back by whatever means necessary. The Duke,
Alright, then.
the Duke is a very, very, very dedicated man to justice and to accomplishing the goals he sets forth. Do not trust any of the rangers that you encounter that may want to speak with you about this as you move towards the forest. Don't let them onto your mission. They are probably men of Mr. Johansson, and it will be quite a problem.
There's not a man named Flicker under his employ, is there, by chance?
Tell me you've not been talking to Flicker.
He approached us just for some small quibbles and complaints, but...
You should stay away from that one. He's always looking to make a problem. Ever since he lost his fortune, that's all he does. Bothers the ministry with minor stuff here and there. Nothing but a nuisance. Focus on your mission.
Yeah, he drinks a lot at my tavern. I've seen him.
Although I
Sad man would
suspect
do that.
He may have some valuable information on pertaining to the forest. Are we allowed to consult with him on any information, or...
Talk to whomever you want. Just keep your lips pursed when it comes to what the actual problem is.
Okay.
Any further questions?
Who's getting this tent?
Whichever you wants to carry it. One of you needs to take the tent, and one of you needs to take the Wayfinder of Detection.
I'll pick up the tent for us.
Brianna, you used that locating
Yeah.
device before, right? You're more versed with it. Maybe you should use it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, I think we're set.
All right. Is there any prep stuff that you guys want to do before heading out?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest like in character we discuss like what spells and stuff we want to take.
Okay.
So I guess we should have like a private room where we can discuss things. I don't know if
Absolutely.
Ninoslav will just leave us in here.
Yep, Ninoslav will just leave you in here.
Oh yeah, because we had something like that last time too.
Yeah. So Guron will say, since our last venture out, Shot has blessed me with another circle of spells. What do you think is most important that we should prioritize? I have a special spell that can help us find our way back here, no matter where we are. Perhaps this would be valuable.
Especially if we get lost in the woods. Yeah, that sounds very helpful.
All right, I'll prioritize taking that. And aside from that, I was just going to take protection magics from evil creatures.
That seems fair.
Unless any of you had any other suggestions, any needs or wants we needed.
I think that sounds good. Most of my spells are oriented around boosting my abilities, but I also I can help align our weapons against evil creatures and give us resistance to energy types.
My spell list is pretty limited. Of course, I'll mostly just be performing, but I do have a spell that if we get injured in combat, out of combat, we can it'll heal us up as a group, which can be useful. Of course, I have that one spell that I use to detect invisibility. I doubt that or it's not really a detect invisibility, but it reveals invisible things. I doubt we'll need that, but Basically, the only spells that I know are the ones I will have prepared. So
Sounds good. Those things can always be useful in certain situations. We have no clue how this forest has morphed itself since we were last there, so I wouldn't count anything out. As many things as we can have in our arsenal is always better.
Does anyone have anything that can strengthen our resolve and our will to do the right thing? I would hate for Goron to want to live in the forest again.
Hopefully not, but my protection magics should offer some help in this, but it only lasts a few hours. It wouldn't an hour actually, so it's kind of hard to plan for it.
Miss Steve, for these effects, would it I can't remember if we found out like what kind of spells they mimic or anything. I was trying to find out if they're mind affecting or not.
It is mind affecting.
Okay, I figured it was, but I didn't want to like assume that it was, because I have this, which may come in handy. I have a few new spells I picked up recently. Entirely sure if that would be prevalent to
could be
what we're trying to do. I will take that, and I did recently acquire augury.
Ooh, augury is fine.
Yeah, as part of my my class ability.
Yeah.
So I do have that if you guys would like to use that.
Yeah, and for the record, I know that this is known to John and to Whitney, but Brianna, I'm not sure if you're aware. A casting of augury gives you the ability to ask a specific question, and if, for example, you're going into combat, and you know you're going to combat, you ask a question ahead of time, and if that condition is met, and if the condition is met with a no answer, you can rewind, or with the appropriate answer, by playing out the combat, you can rewind and know what that answer is and redo the combat. But it is very, very precise. The question has to be very precise.
Yeah,
and if you leave the question too open-ended, you won't get an effective answer.
Like, for instance, if you said, like, will Brianna die? And we do the combat and you live, but I die, then it's not auguried. But if you do die, then it could be auguried. So it has to be pretty.
And if the question is too vague, the answer will come back is unknown. So there needs to be some level of like specificity, but also some level of like making sure you're keeping the question open-ended.
All right. Well, we'll prepare this in Shroud Thoughts and augury then. Oh, I also purchased a scroll of enlarged person. I thought that might be a good idea to take with us. Somebody had mentioned it recently. There we go.
That sounds very useful.
Yeah, it can be beneficial to help. I mean, really, it could be pretty, I think, beneficial on either maybe Goron or me, because if Goron does his tactics where he puts his spell that makes them make will saves to hit him, that could be.
That would be very bad for me.
Move.
It would make them easier. It would let them hit
but
me
they
easier.
Still have to make a will save to hit you, and then you would be able to block. So they fail will saves, they're still not going to hit you, and then you would be able to kind of like block them from getting to other people.
True. But I can't block them. I can't make any
I'm saying like
aggressive
body
motion.
mass, you could. I understand. I'm just saying your body mass. They might be more prone to just try to stand there and hit you and not move past you.
if people are fluent in combat, they know they can acrobatically get past me, no matter my size. And they'll be able to tell I'm not
They
taking
are
attacks of
fluent
opportunity.
in that type of thing.
Any intelligent opponent would know this, but sure, could be useful.
Well, sounds like that we're a little better prepared. It's too bad none of us know like how to shoot fireballs out of our hands or something.
Arcane magic's overrated. Brianna, don't worry about it. We'll be fine with the power of a shot at our backs.
All right. So, is the party going to meet up with Flicker, or do they have other plans? Are they going to head out, or what is the plan?
I assumed that we would want to meet up with Flicker. The thing is, like, just because he might not be reliable, information doesn't mean that it's not valuable to know what he has to say anyway.
We can check it out briefly and just see what he has to say. Look at his house. Doesn't mean we have to necessarily do anything about it, or obviously we're not giving him any information, but it doesn't really hurt to stop by and just see what he wants.
Okay, I just had...
Frozen.
Yeah, well, everything froze up. That was Zoom.
Oh, okay.
But I heard see if he wants...
Just see.
Yeah, I don't...
Oh yeah, like just go up to his house and see what he's got to offer, but not share anything with him, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically just saying it doesn't hurt to just go see what he wants us to see, talk to him briefly. Obviously, we won't share any information with him. We don't necessarily have to act on anything, but it doesn't hurt us just to at least go and check out what he thinks we should see. Maybe it'll be beneficial in some way, maybe it won't.
Now, pardon me, but have I met this Flicker person?
No, you haven't.
He met with us in the morning before we met up with you.
Yeah. While you were AFK, we were having conversation outside the ministry, and he approached us.
What is this AFK? Is this some sort of slang, Brianna, that you picked up at the club?
It's an old halfling word.
Afk.
Afk.
I'll remember that one.
I was busy learning more about this book, or trying to, as best I can.
Oh, you got the book again?
Because I picked up the thing that he wanted me to grab last session, right, Steve? The bag, or...
I didn't know if Brianna and the others knew that.
You did pick up the bag.
Okay, and then I went back and grabbed the book, and then I was able to take it with me using that, right?
Yes, but while you brought it back to him today. That was why you were delayed, and there would have been an argument about where the book should go. And he is suggesting you leave the book behind if you're potentially going to go out on another mission. So he'll leave this up to you, but he'll say like he can do more research on it here, and it would be safer here in the event that you die than if we have to send people in to recover it.
I suppose that's true. And it is still, for the purposes, like if I were to return, it is still my book, and I would have claim over that, correct?
It is the ministry's book. But you are the chief investigator on this. You're the co-investigator on this project.
I just am concerned about the information that could potentially be in it and who would have access to that. No offense to you, of course.
Well, we've already made one success together, and I'm letting you walk out of here with it, am I not?
This is true. Just seems more than meets the eye. Seems very potentially dangerous, but unassuming. It's very strange.
Everything that we do is potentially dangerous. That's part of why we do it, to get it resolved, to find out more about it.
Yeah, but this seems different.
Might feel that
because I'm
way.
inexperienced.
Well, you have something to work with and try to figure out how it works. The magic is very strange. I don't particularly understand it myself. See if you can figure it out. I'll keep the book safe in the meantime. And everything should be good. And I'm doing the wrong voice for this character, but it's okay.
That's fair. I kind of sprung it on you, so.
All right. But yeah, you should have an item on your character sheet now that you did not have 2 minutes ago.
Oh, shucky ducky quack quack. Oh. Is that something that
That is something that you've managed to extract from the book.
Oh, okay. So it was something that was given or got from the book, not
Yeah.
something that just appeared.
No, you would take
Okay.
you took that out of the book. It was your first successful attempt at withdrawing something from the book. You'd been playing around with it for a while, like scratching at it, like peeling at it, like doing a couple of other things. And at one point, you just finally reached in and it like came out. Like your finger kind of sank in a little bit in the book, and you lifted out a coin.
It sounds like some Candor table shenanigans.
Interesting. And I know about as much as is written on my character sheet about it, right?
That is correct.
Coin from the book. Got it.
All right, so the four of you can travel out to meet up with Flicker.
Before we do that, I would like to, somewhere in the ministry, cast Guiding Star.
What is this?
Okay. Very good.
Hey,
Very good.
I like that.
Hopefully I don't lose my mind in the forest and then this is useless.
All right. So you head out to meet with Flicker. And would this be about a good time for a break, I think?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can work on getting the kid to bed right now.
Yep. All right, let's take a short break, and when we get back, we'll see what's up with Flicker.